Hey there, MiniWarGamers. The Cooler here with Matt for another Beat the Cooler BATREP. This time it's 40k Tau versus Tyranids.
And I'd like to just say that Owen thinks that since he can beat me at fantasy, he can beat me at 40k. So I want to make it clear that both of us are going to try to win more than normal. So we've built our armies with that intent. So if you see anything and you're like, that's cheesy, it's okay, because we really want to prove who can beat the other at 40k, because we haven't played each other.
We're not gonna. I don't need to play at 40k. I'm just gonna win. I'm just gonna win with Tyranids. Yeah, now I gotta win.
Yeah.
All right. So remember miniwargaming.com/challenge to challenge a MiniWarGamer, and here we go.
We work so you can play. MiniWarGaming Speed the Cooler BATREP.
Here we are with Matt's 2,000 point Tyranid list. Now he's got a unit of Termagants in a Spore Pod, 2 more Termagant squads and Spore Pods. He's also got 2 Trigon Primes, along with a Hive Tyrant with wings, of course. And then he's got 3 Venom Thropes, 2 of them in a unit, 1 of them on its own, and then 3 Tervagants. And then he's got another Spore Pod with the Doom, of course, because you can't forget bringing that 90-point monster. So that's 2,000 points of Tyranids. Then we've got the 2,000 points of Tau. In the front here, we've got the Battlesuit Commander with airbursting, fragmentation, and a flamer, and then 3 guys with plasmas and flamers. We've got a unit of Pathfinders and their Devilfish in the back. Another 4 units of Fire Warriors, all up to 12. Then we've got 3 tanks here. The white railgun is an ion cannon, and the other ion cannon is an ion cannon. And then 2 Barracudas, and then another unit of Pathfinders to the left of those tanks, and the Fortress. And then this is the table we're going to be playing on. Now we rolled for just random terrain, seeing how much would be where, and this is just how it turned out. So almost all the terrain in the front left corner there. And then we also rolled, we've got big guns never tire. So the objectives, we've got the sensor towers as these objectives, 2 of them on the far left, and 1 of them on the very far right. And so that's where the objectives are, and they're apparently worth 3 points each. And other than that, the objectives will be Slay the Warlord, Linebreaker, and First Blood. So here's the Tyranids deployed. All the monstrous creatures piled up in the terrain, and the Tau lined up against them. We've got the Fire Warriors basically staggered, piece of terrain, piece of terrain, piece of terrain, all the way down the line. And he's got all of his monsters in this big group, but they all are protected by the Venom Thropes, who, regardless of where they are, they'll get a 5-up cover save. And, of course, that's a big deal when I'm shooting them with guns that would normally just bring them down. I'm stealing initiative, and I do. So Tau are turn 1, or Tau get to go first after stealing the initiative. So first a few scout moves as I move my Pathfinders up during before the movement phase. And now difficult terrain for my battle suits, and rolling to see if, that was the roll to see if it was night fighting or not, and it is night fighting. So it is night fighting, which we had forgotten to roll originally, but now it's night fighting, that's not a big deal. If I marker light, I can use that as a searchlight, so there is that benefit. Now I've got my tanks moving up. Now remember, the white railgun is an ion cannon. So the first ion cannon, it fires at, or the first unit of Pathfinders fires at them, and it gets 3 marks. And then the other unit of Pathfinders fires at the Trigon, and they also get 3 marks. So we've got a total of 6. So I take off 5 to remove his cover save entirely, and use the last one to boost and aim at this monster with the first ion cannon. It hits with 2, does 1 wound, and he has no save against it. The next ion cannon fires, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, and it does 2 more wounds, so he goes down to 3 wounds. Then the railgun shoots, and it uses its solid shot, hits once, wounds, goes down another wound, so he's down to 2 wounds now. The battlesuit takes a pot shot, hitting on 4s, and he does, and then he wounds on 4s, and he does another wound, so it's down to 1 wound already. And then the las cannon from the bastion, or the fortress, shoots, hitting on 4s, but it does get to reroll, so it hits, and it wounds as well. So turn 1, Trigon goes down. The Fire Warriors, they then fire at the Tervagon that's sitting in the crater next to where the Trigon was, and they're wounding on, I believe, 6s here, but they do actually get a couple wounds. Or they're wounding on 5s, and then they do 2 wounds, and it goes down to 4. The other Fire Warriors, only 5 of them are in range, but they take a few shots. 4 of them hit, and 2 of them wound, and they actually do a wound. So they do another wound to the Trigon on the far side. At the end of the turn, the battlesuits move, just kind of shuffling back a little bit, because we know that he's going to move up. Tyranids turn 1, starting off here after losing that Trigon in the previous phase, but he does get to spawn his units now. So first he's moving through difficult terrain and rolling to see how far they'd go. Or rather, no, he's rolling psychic tests now to see he gets D3 additional toughness and strength, because he's got the psychic move from Biomancy that'll give him +3 or up to D3 toughness and strength. So he gets 3 on the far right, 1 in the middle, and then 1 on the far left, which is a big deal. And now he's doing difficult terrain for his Trigon as it moves into the forest there. And the Hive Tyrant, he's only swooping right now, he's not flying yet. Spawning starts, he does roll doubles, but he gets a solid, well, not really solid, he gets 7 gaunts, so way below average, but at least he got a few. I didn't make any more Fire Warriors, but anyway, he moves up another 6 inches with his toughness 9 right now, Turbigon, and this one it does spawn and it can continue, so it got 8, but it will be able to spawn again next turn, which is certainly good. And now they're finding out what kind of forest that is, it's nothing, and what kind of objective that is, and it's nothing, and then we remember that I have to check for this one, and it's nothing either. Or the objective that he has there actually gives him rerolls to hit of 1. And now the other Turbigon spawns, and it gets a solid 13, but it can't spawn anymore. So 2 of the Trigons are already stopped. Rolling for this tree, does roll a 2, and then the Turbigon moves up. Now the other Zoanthropes, they're moving up here, or Venomthropes, not Zoanthropes, the Venomthropes, so they can keep the 5-up cover save. So this group of Gaunts, they run in the shooting phase here, they're just moving a little bit further, same with the other group, trying to grab all the objectives while still staying in cover. So the Gaunts move up here, and he's got so many of these Gaunts as these ones, and they do have move through cover as well because Tyranids have that ability. So he moves up, he's getting to rolls 3 dice, and gets to pick the highest out of those. And now he's running, yeah, because they get to be spawned, move 6, and then activate. So move up to 6 more, depending on difficult in that, and then they get to run. So these guys came out and went about 12 inches. Now the other units are running. He's got his Venomthrope running up behind, and it stands behind those Gaunts and gives them a save. And then he rolls a 5 for his other unit of Gaunts running. So they're going to stay, because he only needs 1 model within 6 inches of the Venomthrope in order to give the 5-up cover save. So he just needs to kind of daisy chain his units back, and it'll keep them alive. He moves the Trigon Prime back behind the trees there, more than anything giving way so that the Turbigon can move back further. And then the Venomthropes run as well. Now these are a unit of 2, but the other one is a unit of just 1. So he shuffles around a little bit and moves his creatures all into this big clump in the middle here, around the objective. And remember, the Turvigons, because they are troop choices, thanks to the amount of Gaunts he brought, they can all hold objectives. So that's going to be an issue to get them off, but this is the end of turn 1, what the table looks like. So far, the Tau haven't taken any casualties. The Tyranids have already lost a Trigon, but there are lots of monsters as creatures, and a lot of them are toughness 9. So stay tuned for part 2 and see how this BATREP goes.